Hello, Tom Green here, coming at you from the first ever solar-powered Barncast. That's right, we're broadcasting on the Tom Green podcast live from my barn. Well, it's not live, but it's kind of like it's live. I mean, I'm just talking, and maybe we could go live. We have Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi, and we have lights, and we have electricity. Thank you to the folks at Battleborn Batteries who have set me up with an incredible solar-powered electrical system here in this off-grid barn on my property here, on my farm in Canada. About 2 years ago, I moved back to Canada. I've settled in the wilderness. We have some animals here that you're going to meet, and we're having a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to starting to broadcast here to you guys regularly from the barn, and you'll be able to watch on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to listen on podcast platforms everywhere you can get podcasts. Yeah, that's it. That's what's going on. This is a technical test, by the way. This is not actually a real episode of the podcast. It's just a technical test. To tell you a little bit about my life, I started out doing radio back in the late 80s when I was on CHUO 89.1 FM on the Ottawa University radio station. I was in high school still when I started volunteering there. Then shortly after I began my show, I turned it into an all-talk format. It was called the Midnight Caller. We would take phone calls from midnight till 2 in the morning every Friday night. We did all sorts of fun stuff with the audience. That eventually evolved into the Tom Green Show, which led me to New York and then Los Angeles, where I spent the last 20 years of my life doing the show on MTV and then on Webovision, where we started a podcast-like show in the early 2000s that was essentially a podcast before podcasting. We had cameras. It was more of a video broadcast, but it was a podcast where I invited a lot of my friends up who were comedians in the Los Angeles area, and they came up and talked to me about what they were up to in the world of comedy. And that's what this is going to be, except maybe we're not going to have as many comedians on the show, although I am hoping to bring some of my comedian friends up to the Canadian wilderness to come by the podcast studio and sit with us. But also we're going to talk about a lot of different wilderness-related content. I'm going to go out and hide in the woods a lot. We'll talk about what that's like. There's many, many millions of acres of uncharted territory just in this region right around here. So we could literally walk out of the studio, walk in a straight line in that direction, and get completely lost, and you would probably never hear from me again. So I'll bring a compass if we do that, and we'll videotape it, and you can watch. There really is an unlimited amount of things that we can talk about here on the new show, and I plan on jumping into a lot of different subjects that relate to country living, off-grid living, that relate to animals in the woods, domesticated livestock, looking after chickens, looking after mules. You'll meet mules, you'll meet donkeys, you'll meet Fanny, and you'll meet Kia. I don't want to reveal too much. I'm going to save some of that for the imagination right now, but then I'm going to save some of that for next year, where you're going to get to really meet them on a new television show coming out in 2024, as well as a new documentary that I'm directing, and a new comedy special, new stand-up comedy special, all coming out next year. In the meantime, we'll be just hanging around here on YouTube, fiddling around with the technology, playing with these microphones, talking to the wolves. There is a wolf pack here on the property, as well as a pack of coyotes that live off in this direction. Sometimes you hear them communicating. Sometimes you'll hear me communicating with them. It's a lot of fun. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can see the wolves and the coyotes on my trail cam video. Just scroll down and check out the trail cam video on my YouTube channel. But that's it. That's all I wanted to say. It's just a technical test. This isn't even really a podcast right now. It's just me talking to you guys, telling you that there's going to be a podcast coming soon. You can listen to old episodes of the podcast, the Tom Green Podcast, anywhere you can find podcasts, or even here on the YouTube channel, there's a few episodes of the Tom Green Podcast. But new stuff coming soon, new setup from the barn, the first ever solar-powered Barncast. I'm sure in 20 years, people will look back and they'll say, wow, look at that. That was the first time ever anyone did a solar-powered Barncast. Now everybody's doing Barncasts. Now everybody's doing Barncasting could become a thing. That could become a thing in 20 years. Everybody's doing a Barncast. Podcasting, what's that? That all went away 20 years ago. It's all about barncasting now. Broadcasting from a unheated, unair-conditioned, hay, allergen-filled, bat-filled, pigeon-filled, pigeon shit-filled, squirrel-filled, 100-year-old, dilapidated, falling down structure. Who would want to broadcast from there? What guest in their right mind would want to come on a show from something like that? You know, enough of these, soft couches and heated buildings and mints and chocolate wafers and delicious beverages and snacks. There's not going to be snacks here. It's a barncast. You don't have snacks in a barncast. There'll be no snacks. There will be no, we might have snacks. Maybe we'll have snacks, actually. I don't want to be the Grinch who stole Christmas here. I don't want to be, the guy that doesn't give his guest a snack because he's trying to, you can have a snack. There can be snacks. Okay, there'll be snacks, and you can have snacks too. But you have to get your own snacks because I can't pass snacks through the internet. Not yet. Until there's some sort of technological advancement that allows me to pass snacks through the internet, then you'll have to bring your own snacks. BYOS. In the future, that may be possible. I remember not that long ago when I started streaming on Webovision from my home in Los Angeles in the Hollywood Hills. People would say, "What are you doing? The pipe isn't big enough. You can't broadcast." I said, "It's going to get faster." And people looked at me like I was crazy. No, you can't broadcast video through the internet. It's not fast enough. I go, "It's going to get faster." And people would look at me like they were looking at a crazy person or something, right? But now it's probably similar today. If I said, in the future, I'll be able to hand you a slice of pizza or a delicious mixed bowl of mixed nuts, some cashews and almonds and some peanuts right through the internet. You'll be sitting there at your desk and you'll just reach out to the screen and eat some delicious peanuts, right? Look at that. You passed them right through. I remember back in the day, the internet was too slow to pass a bowl of delicious mixed nuts through it. But now the pipeline's widened up to the point, and home broadband has gotten fast enough that you can literally reach into the camera, into the screen, and be handed directly from Tom a delicious slice of pizza, a delicious bowl of mixed nuts. This is my vision. This is, I think, where we're going. And I don't know if it's technically possible yet, but I'm going to make some phone calls and talk to some people in Silicon Valley and see if there's a way that we can find a way to pass some delicious mixed nuts through the internet. Maybe not a bowl at first. Maybe just one little peanut. Maybe just an unshelled little peanut will pass through to you first, just as a proof of concept, right? If we can get to that point, if we can pass a peanut through the internet, maybe then we'll be able to get to a cashew or, even a walnut, right? And then all of a sudden we've broken the ice on that. Now we're just sort of one short step away from an entire bowl of nuts, a slice of pizza, a full steak dinner, right? You could be watching the show. I could make you a steak dinner and pass it to you. I think that's true. I think that's possible. I believe it's possible. Everybody's saying they're shaking their head. I know you're at home shaking your head saying, this guy is like out to lunch, man. There's no way that you're going to be able to pass a steak dinner or a bowl of mixed nuts through the internet. But I'm telling you, technology changes, and it changes fast sometimes. Maybe there'll be sort of like a beam me through the internet kind of technology they'll come up with. Remember Star Trek? Spock, Kirk, they would go down to the planet's surface. Tell you, it's a lot bigger than a bowl of mixed nuts, okay? Could be something like that. You mark my words. I bet you, I'm willing to bet now, unfortunately I won't be there to collect the bet, but I bet you in 150 years from now, a barncaster like me will be able to pass a bowl of mixed nuts through the internet to the listening and viewing public at home. Okay? That's what I'm saying. All right, so this has been a technical test. No mixed nuts today, but maybe in the future. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It is my pleasure to be continuing this 30-year adventure. I started on public access TV and college radio and went on to MTV, and movies like Freddy Got Fingered and Road Trip and other things, and Webovision, and then stand-up comedy, where I've gotten to travel around the world and see all of you. So there's going to be a lot more of that. I'm looking forward to coming to your town. I'm looking forward to continuing for another 30 years from this barn, this century barn that is over 100 years old and is now home to something that is essentially the cutting edge, tip of the spear of broadcasting technology right now. This right here is the tip of the spear, not because of what you're looking at right now, but because of what we're planning to do. We're planning to pass food through the internet. Nobody's even contemplating that yet. We are contemplating that, and that is why I think we are at the tip of the spear of internet technology, because we are trying to at least conceive of a way to pass hot dogs, slices of pizza, bread, butter, soup. Maybe we start with soup. Maybe soup will be easier at first. Who doesn't like a nice bowl of soup? Maybe you'll be sitting at home in 20 years from now, feeling a little hungry, watching an episode of this solar-powered Barncast, and you stick a little straw into your phone and suck really hard and suck out a delicious, nourishing mushroom soup. For whatever reason, mushroom may be the first one that's possible. For whatever reason, the chemical makeup, which is unfortunate. Chicken noodle would be good, but maybe the noodles don't pass through immediately. It might have to be a tomato soup, okay? Not my favorite, but still better than no soup at all. If you're on a deserted island with, half a battery left on your cell phone, you've fallen off a ship, you're starving, you tune in to the first ever solar-powered Barncast in the world. I'm standing there talking to you, and I feed you, 18 liters of delicious tomato soup. Beggars can't be choosers, man. You're not going to say no to that. That's the kind of broadcasting that I want to do here. Just stuff like that. Maybe we'll just have guests. I don't know. Leave a comment. Tell me if you want guests or if I should just talk about future plans to deliver soup through the internet. I'll take your advice, and I'll seriously consider it. Okay? So that's it. That's our technical test. Thank you for watching. This has been the first ever official technical test of the Tom Green Podcast / the first ever solar-powered podcast. We're going to keep the name the Tom Green Podcast, but the Tom Green Podcast is the first ever solar-powered Barncast, coming at you on the national internet from coast to coast. We're broadcasting from my off-grid barn here in the wilderness of Canada, and I want to thank Battleborn Batteries for providing us with the solar technology that's allowed us to run electricity in this off-grid barn. Thank you, Battleborn Batteries. Check them out, a division of Dragonfly Energy. They're doing some incredible technological work, probably stuff that is far more important than what you're watching here today, than what you're listening here today. They're going to help people power their homes and power their cars and their yachts and their trucks and have solar power that can go anywhere. But they're also helping me do this Barncast and potentially deliver soup to people on stranded, deserted islands. People who are stranded, saving lives potentially, nourishing people that have fallen off ships, people who have fallen off cruise ships, been considered lost and dead, but instead are just lapping up tomato soup on some Caribbean island somewhere, some little South Pacific atoll somewhere, just sucking back mushroom soup, living it up. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, Tom. I'm not sure if this is the direction I want to go with the podcast, by the way. I don't know if this is the direction I want to go. We may start taking phone calls, then I can just talk to people. I think if I just sit here by myself for too long, I get a little stir crazy and the show gets a little nonsensical. Leave a comment. Do you want the show to be more nonsensical or would you like it to be less nonsensical? I'll take a poll, and depending on the results, I'll either get more nonsensical or less nonsensical. I am thinking about becoming a wizard. I have the bespoke wizard cloak already made, and I'm thinking about introducing the wizard to this Barncast. The wizard, of course, being the host of the Barncast. I'm serious here. Don't look at me like that, like you think I'm like, crazy or something. Okay, I'm serious. I'm thinking of introducing a wizard to the equation here. If you would like to see more wizard-related content, more wizard-themed content, leave a comment if you'd like to see more content with wizards or a wizard. And I tell you, I have a bespoke wizard costume. I looked for one of those, run-of-the-mill, mass-produced wizard costumes, and they just weren't cutting it. So I had to go to a Hollywood set designer in Toronto and have them make me one of the nicest woolen wizard costumes that you've ever seen. I don't want to point at the bleachers like Casey at the bat and leave you disappointed when it's not up to your expectations after all this talk, but I'm telling you, there's a wizard that is itching to make an appearance, and that's not just because he's wearing a woolen cloak. And he is right around the corner, and he'll be here very soon. All you have to do is leave a comment that says, yes, we want to see the wizard, or no, not really feeling the idea of the wizard. We'd like more of a sensible Barncast where you talk to people about life in the country and people that have like fishing and people that like ATVs and communicating with wolves and hiding in the woods and foraging for mushrooms. We can do that as well. We can make it a more of a serious show. Maybe it'll be a mixture. Maybe there'll be wizards sometimes. Maybe there'll be serious conversations about wolf packs and wolf behavior. Maybe we'll just be trying to jam soup through the internet. Maybe we'll just be pouring tomato soup onto the cameras, onto the microphones in a sort of a Hail Mary attempt to get soup to you. It's possible. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe the internet's fast enough now that all we have to do is pour a bowl of hot, delicious tomato soup on the microphone, and maybe just through the magic of Webovision, it may just come spurting out of your speakers into your greedily lapping lips and tongue. It's okay, Charlie. It's okay. It's just me impersonating somebody sipping soup out of their telephone, out of their cellular telephone. That's all. I know it seems a little weird, but that's all I was doing there. Don't worry. Don't be worried, okay, Charlie? Charlie's sitting over there looking at me like, what the hell's going on with this guy? It's all right. I'm just sort of pantomiming. Oh, there's a fucking bat flew in here or some shit. What the fuck is that? Anyways, we'll get to that later. It's okay, Charlie. It's just a bat, and it's me over here pantomiming someone lapping soup out of the speakers of their home computer. I don't know, this isn't going to work. Stay positive, Tom. Stay positive. You know, don't let the negative Nancy's dancing around in your head get you down. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of naysayers in the comments saying, what are you doing, man? Why don't you just do a normal show with a normal guest? What's all this soup bullshit? Can't put soup through the internet. You know, and I'll just have to say to myself, I remember the day when they said that you couldn't broadcast video through the internet. It wasn't that long ago. 2003, 2004. People used to come up to Webovision and look around and go, wow, you can do a show in your house. Wow, this is amazing. I didn't even know you could do this. That's what it's going to be like in 20 years. People coming up here, pouring soup all over their headphones and watching their friends at home, celebrating, nourishing themselves. Believe it. Believe it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for allowing me to pursue my dreams. I hope you all pursue yours as well. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and listen to the Tom Green Podcast everywhere you can get podcasts. Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Who's the new guy? There we go. Come on. It's going to be fun, Charlie. We're going to have fun here doing podcasts, okay? And eating soup or drinking soup. I don't know if you drink or eat soup. Okay? It's going to be so much fun. Soup's on. Maybe that'll be the new name for the show when we get to that point. Soup's on. Welcome to the show. Soup's on. Everyone just gargling. All you can eat tomato soup. It's gonna be good, Charlie. It's gonna be so fun. Look at everyone at home, Charlie. Look at everyone at home. Over there. Look. See? All those thirsty listeners waiting and anticipating the day where they get free soup. Someday there'll be free soup. Mark my words. The haters out there that don't think that you can deliver food through the internet, they're gonna look silly, aren't they? In 150 years. They thought Marconi was crazy. They thought Marconi was crazy.